What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
Hey, I'm your host, Jessica, and let's just say today's tea is simmering hot enough to make you blush. Have you ever witnessed
Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context, is an absolute nothing burger.
Hollywood feud so twisted it felt almost too wild to be true? Well, buckle up.
TMZ has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene. And no such moment is shown.
Because the drama between actor-director Justin Baldoni and superstar Blake Lively is about to leave you speechless. One moment, they were collaborators who couldn't stop praising each other's talent. The next, they were at each other's throats in a bizarre series of accusations and counterclaims. And if you think this is a simple case of he said, she said, think again. Huge names like Reynolds and Taylor Swift have stepped into the fray, turning what could have been—
Often happens when these stars drop a movie, people start digging around for other interviews of them, etc. And it was just sort of a course of, wow, like, she seems like kind of a jerk. Wow, she's like kind of a bully. She's rather mean.
A quiet disagreement into a headline-grabbing power struggle. Why would Blake Lively, beloved by fans and revered for her chic public image, suddenly accuse Justin of crossing lines behind the camera? And how does Taylor Swift, one of the biggest pop icons on the planet, play a role in this behind-the-scenes turbulence? Plus, there's an entire production team stuck in the middle, job stability on the line, and potential sequel rights up for grabs. Is it all part of a grand strategy to seize control, or is Justin hiding secrets of his own? Get comfortable, because this story is littered with leaked footage, private text messages, and jaw-dropping legal twists. By the end, you'll be asking yourself, is Hollywood just a glitzy stage for battles we never see coming? Before the lawsuits, the leaked footage, and the tabloid frenzy, there was a simple dream. Justin Baldoni's vision to adapt a beloved novel into a film. He had poured 5 years of his life into securing the rights, working closely with the original author, Colleen Hoover, to develop a script that did justice to fans' expectations. In the beginning, nobody could deny his dedication. He'd built a reputation as a director who listens and cares, someone who fosters a creative environment where every actor feels respected. Blake Lively's arrival on the project seemed like a dream come true. Her name alone could draw crowds, not to mention her track record of consistently playing strong, multifaceted characters. And for a while, things went smoothly. You'd see behind-the-scenes snaps of the cast laughing, exchanging ideas, even praising each other on social media. Interviews showed Justin calling Blake a brilliant collaborator. Blake described how refreshing it felt to have a director value her input rather than dismiss it. But like many Hollywood endeavors, the cracks started appearing when the stakes got higher. An unannounced break in filming changed everything. Whatever transpired during that hiatus flipped the dynamic from harmonious to hostile. Suddenly, rumors trickled through industry circles. Arguments about creative control, friction between cast members, and weird tension that no one quite understood. And all of that turmoil was just the prelude to an avalanche of controversy. At first glance, it was baffling to see such a rapid shift from mutual admiration to outright hostility. Fans were left scratching their heads, wondering how coworkers who spent nearly 2 years collaborating could suddenly be at odds. But as the dust settled, whispers of looming legal action spread across social media. Blake Lively began hinting at personal misconduct by someone on set. Not long after, the rumor mill fingered Justin Baldoni as the source of her complaints. Was it a simple difference in creative vision? Or was there a grander power play behind the scenes, orchestrated by forces bigger than we could imagine? This was only the tip of the iceberg, and what would emerge next made those initial rumors look tame. When A-listers get involved, things always escalate fast. Blake Lively wasn't just a high-profile actress. She was part of a power couple, married to Reynolds, one of Hollywood's biggest box office draws. On top of that, she's famously close with Taylor Swift, a global superstar whose influence can sway millions. With that kind of backing, any conflict involving Blake was bound to attract a media firestorm. And if the whispers are true, Blake didn't hesitate to leverage those relationships. Word got out that she approached Sony, the film's distributor, and demanded more control, possibly even full creative authority over the project. According to inside sources, she threatened to pull the support of her massive fanbase if the studio didn't comply. If that sounds extreme, consider how these demands could shift the entire power balance. Suddenly, Justin Baldoni was no longer the key creative force. Instead, he found himself overshadowed by Blake's star power and her personal ties to big Hollywood names. Reynolds allegedly confronted Justin at some point, inflamed by rumors that Justin had made comments about Blake's weight or tried to stifle her creative input. Taylor Swift, too, apparently weighed in behind closed doors. While nobody knows exactly what was said in those private discussions, the combined might of Ryan and Taylor can't be understated. Whether it was intentional or not, their involvement put immense pressure on Justin and the production team. The ultimate question remains, was this part of a carefully orchestrated plan to oust Justin from his own film? Or did Blake sincerely believe Justin was making her uncomfortable, taking advantage of their professional rapport? Intentions are tricky in Hollywood's labyrinth of motivations, and friendly collaboration can morph into hidden agenda faster than you'd expect. Yet, none of this was fully public knowledge. Not until leaks from the set began to paint a picture that conflicted with Blake's accusations. When the first snippets of raw footage emerged, viewers were stunned to see a very different dynamic on screen: a playful, respectful Justin and a proactive, engaged Blake who seemed quite at ease calling the shots. At that point, it wasn't just about claims and counterclaims. It became about evidence, and that evidence started to raise some serious doubts about who was telling the real story. If you want to see through a facade, nothing helps more than raw, unedited video. Up until these leaks, we only had hearsay. People close to Blake insisted Justin harassed her during intimate scenes and disregarded her boundaries. People loyal to Justin said that was nonsense. He'd always been professional and respectful. Then came the leaked clips from filming, showing Blake not only consenting to romantic scenes but actively directing them. In one snippet, she even repositions Justin to get a better angle, all while instructing him on how to make their on-screen kiss appear more authentic. In another, they're laughing between takes about how the final cut will feature dramatic slow-motion shots. Far from looking uncomfortable, Blake appears fully immersed, tossing out suggestions for lines and even advising on camera placement. So, where did the accusation of crossing boundaries come from? Blake's lawsuit later stated that Justin made comments about her body and improvised physical contact without her permission. But the footage suggests a carefully choreographed process involving them both. Scenes were meticulously planned, with input from intimacy coordinators whenever Blake agreed to use them. That is, after the break in filming, she reportedly refused further consultation with the designated coordinator, insisting she and Justin could handle it alone. That's a major contradiction to the idea that Justin coerced her into anything. Suddenly, the story wasn't so cut and dry. Was Blake rewriting history, leveraging a sensational claim to seize creative control? Or was the footage out of context, missing critical moments when Justin allegedly crossed the line? People who saw the leak asked the same question. Why stay so hands-on if you believe you were being harassed? Things became even more tangled when statements revealed Blake had texted Justin praising his creative eye just days before her official complaint. She thanked him for really understanding the characters, saying she felt they were making something special together. And that's exactly what made the next part so shocking. Why the sudden lawsuit if, on the surface, everything seemed fine? One of the most jarring developments involved Colleen Hoover, the original author who'd entrusted Justin with adapting her novel. Publicly, she once gushed about Justin's ability to capture the emotional depth of her work. They had a friendly rapport. He consulted her while writing the script, and she championed his vision in interviews. So when Blake filed a lawsuit, many assumed Colleen would stand by Justin's side. But that didn't happen. Colleen switched her allegiance almost overnight, posting cryptic messages on social media indicating her support for Blake. Fans noticed she wasn't just being neutral. She was actively removing old posts praising Justin and replacing them with new ones praising Blake. The rumor mill suggested that Blake promised Colleen more exposure or better creative freedom if she backed her version of events. Meanwhile, actor Brendan, who played a significant role in the film, came forward to defend Blake's claims. He took to Instagram, referencing respect and safe work environments, though he stopped short of naming Justin directly. It was a puzzling twist, especially since Justin had reportedly helped secure Brendan's casting. This abrupt shift made some believe that people were more concerned about staying in Blake's good graces, and by extension, in Ryan's and Taylor's orbits, than finding the real truth. On the flip side, Justin Baldoni was stunned. He'd always been vocal about championing women's stories and experiences. His track record included philanthropic work, empowering women in his interviews, and even hosting a popular podcast where he emphasized empathy and equality. Being labeled as a creep or a bully went against everything he'd built his reputation on. A few of his close friends publicly supported him, citing that the allegations didn't align with the Justin they knew. But in Hollywood, star power often overshadows personal testimonies. It begged the question, was this a classic case of Hollywood politics, where siding with a bigger star offered career advantages? Or did Blake genuinely feel threatened enough to rally the entire circle against Justin? As the drama thickened, a new spotlight fell on two key players with enough influence to tip the scales in any direction: Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. In Hollywood's interconnected social web, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift stand out as influential figures whose personal endorsements can catapult or crush a project. Ryan's comedic genius and box office draw make him a powerful ally or a formidable adversary. Taylor Swift's fanbase is monumental. Her endorsement alone can steer an entire generation toward or away from you in the blink of an eye. Blake Lively's close friendships with both weren't just casual connections, they were alliances. When rumors swirled that Blake had leveraged these alliances to secure her position on the film, it wasn't hard to believe. One insider claimed that after the break in filming, Ryan and Taylor urged Blake to take a more dominant role, reminding her that she had every right to protect her vision. They allegedly told her, "If you don't stand up for yourself now, you never will." Ryan, for his part, might have had personal reasons to step in. Reports suggest he was livid over an incident involving Blake's weight, something Justin allegedly mentioned in casual conversation with a trainer about lifting sequences. Though Justin maintained it was purely for safety reasons, he had lingering back issues and didn't want to risk injuring them both. Ryan viewed it as offensive and humiliating for Blake. Fueled by protective instincts, he cornered Justin during a private meeting, demanding an apology and rectification. The tension was palpable, and from that moment, trust between Ryan and Justin seemed irreversibly damaged. Then there was Taylor Swift, rumored to have been involved in the casting of one of the younger characters. Justin found the actress, but Taylor reportedly gave the final nod. The actress even mentioned in an interview that Taylor and Blake loved my audition, completely overlooking Justin's role. This omission felt like a deliberate move to undermine Justin's importance in the film. Whether these alliances formed a deliberate strategy to marginalize Justin or simply reflect genuine loyalty to Blake, one thing is for sure: when Ryan and Taylor step onto the battlefield, they shift the entire narrative. Their star power turned Blake's accusations into front-page news, leaving Justin struggling to get his side heard. As tensions escalated, the power dynamic shifted almost overnight. One day, Justin was the film's lead creative force. The next, he found himself locked out of the editing room. Insiders revealed that Sony, wary of a public relations disaster, capitulated to Blake's demands. Suddenly, she had near-complete control over post-production, re-editing scenes, and shaping the narrative, while Justin was left on the sidelines, effectively a bystander in the project he had nurtured from the start. Blake's demands included more than just editing rights. According to leaked documents, she wanted script approvals, creative final cut, and even a say in how the film would be marketed. If these terms sound like something only a seasoned director or high-level producer would request, it's because Blake was, by that point, functioning in both roles, director in everything but official title. Meanwhile, Justin's legal team scrambled to salvage his position. They insisted that the lawsuit was baseless, pointing to footage that contradicted Blake's claims of inappropriate behavior. They also highlighted the timeline, showing that Blake only made these allegations after failing to gain full editorial control by more conventional means. But once a celebrity of Blake's status files a legal complaint, the damage is often irreversible. Even if Justin emerged vindicated, the public's perception might remain tainted by the accusation alone. Looking ahead, the future of the franchise hangs in the balance. Justin reportedly holds the rights to any sequels, but if Blake positions herself as the de facto architect of the first film's success, the studio might side with her for the next installment. Some rumors suggest she's already securing a directorial role for the sequel, possibly partnering with Ryan or Taylor on creative aspects. If that happens, Justin's involvement could be wiped away for good, his 5-year investment reduced to a distant memory. What's more, talk around town hints at an internal power struggle at Sony. Executives are torn between appeasing a huge star like Blake Lively and honoring their original contract with Justin. And it's not just about this film. It's about future collaborations, potential spin-offs, and the relationships that keep Hollywood's wheels turning. Will the franchise continue under Blake's leadership, or can Justin reclaim what he started? Right now, it's anyone's guess, but one thing is certain. The controversy has generated a level of publicity that can make or break a blockbuster. So here we are, at the end of a swirling tale packed with legal threats, power plays, and alliances that stretch across the top rungs of Hollywood. On one side, Blake Lively claims she was manipulated, harassed, and dismissed. On the other, Justin Baldoni insists the evidence tells a different story, a story of mutual collaboration abruptly derailed by ambition and hidden agendas. At the center of this storm stands a question far bigger than any single film. How does Hollywood truly operate behind the curtain of glitz and glam? Is it a place where creative minds come together to produce magic, or is it a battleground of backdoor deals, shifting loyalties, and career-defining alliances? Maybe it's both. After all, half the allure of Tinseltown is rooted in the intrigue nobody fully understands. With all the major players, Blake, Justin, Ryan, Taylor, and even Colleen Hoover locked in tense standoffs, the future of this film adaptation feels precarious. Fans are left wondering which side to believe. The accusations are serious, the counter-evidence is compelling, and the question remains, was this meticulously orchestrated by Blake and her superstar allies, or did Justin's behavior push her to the brink? One thing is certain, the story isn't over. Lawsuits can take years to resolve, and in that time, alliances can shift yet again. More footage might be leaked. More text messages could emerge. And each new revelation could spin this saga into an even more intricate web of conflicting agendas. For now, all we can do is watch and wait. Hollywood has always loved a good drama, but this one might just rewrite the script on how these conflicts unfold. Still catching your breath from that tea and craving more? Drop a like, then hit subscribe to Tea Sesh with Jessica, your favorite host, so you're first in line for every jaw-dropping reveal. With more drama on the horizon, you definitely don't want to get left behind.